Hey everybody, welcome back to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
And welcome back, Mary, to the Mary Bird's.
Back.
Welcome back to your podcast. How do you think about that? That's pretty cool.
Welcome back to another edition
of 2026.
That is
podcast.
A beautiful year. Did I say that last year?
You did. You like the numbers, don't you?
Last episode. I really do.
I'm excited about those numbers.
The numbers, they're so rounded. They match each other. They flow. I really do like 2026.
I know you were excited about that right after the New Year.
Yes, and I've had several people that have agreed with me as well.
Wow.
So they noticed it too.
I love it. I love every minute of it.
I love it.
Hey, before we get started, Mary, I wanted to thank everybody that is listening out there. We have quite a broad audience, both in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. We have quite a few listeners in Germany, which is pretty cool. And we've got some listeners all over the U.S. And I know we're kind of we live in Texas and we talk a lot about Texas, but we appreciate all you guys joining us here at Mary Bird's Backyard Garden.
It's very remarkable. I'm always surprised. That's the first thing I probably ask Jeffy is, where is that from? Where are they from? And it always surprises me.
You know what it is? It's actually pretty amazing how, like we're 900 years old. How that internet really gets us. But I mean, it is pretty cool. I mean, you have to admit it's, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm, it is.
I mean, we have listeners in Germany, UK, Singapore, Australia.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing. And of course, all over the U.S. So we do appreciate you guys joining us here at Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. And I hope you continue to follow our adventures. Our adventures and antics.
Our adventures. Oh, yes.
And antics. In 2026.
Antics are supreme.
Yeah. All right. So with that said, Mary, what's new in the garden this week?
We've had a beautiful winter this winter. I've been really enjoying the weather. It's been a little bit, some days are cloudy and you feel very comfortable staying inside and getting snuggly. And some days are bright and clear. And today is the first day I could actually say we have heavy winds.
It is,
We haven't had that. And it's been really nice. We got a little tiny touch of rain.
Oh boy, could you even mention that here?
Yes.
It was wet. Let's just say it got something wet.
We could see wetness.
And it was exciting.
It was very exciting.
And for you all that don't live in Texas, probably laughing at us.
We run out the door and dance in the rain.
Mary looked down and she goes, I think it's wet. I think it might have rained. And it was literally wet. That was it. But hey, we'll take what we can get because I don't think it's supposed to do that again for a while.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Oh, boy. And it's been several months now. Jeff had read that it was recommended that you turn your entire sprinkler system off. And we did that.
Yeah, we did. We actually did that in October, November.
Okay, October or November.
Yeah, I did it. So, end of October, maybe early November.
Mm-hmm. So it's looking pretty good for that.
Our lawn is, again, for those of you in the Northeast, I'm sorry, but our lawn is green. It's weird. It has stayed green.
It's not a winter grass at all.
It's not winter grass.
Bermuda.
It's green.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even in our neighborhood, ours, not everyone's is, but ours is green. So Mary's got it going good there, I think, with her nutrients. A lot of nutrients in the grass. But
looking for the humus.
It is funny. Every time we turn the corner, it's like, man, that's just crazy. It's almost mid-January and it's still green. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's staying green now. That's okay.
We'll see. We have February, and the end of January to look forward to.
Yeah.
And then we might be in the clear.
February is our tough month here in Texas. Yeah, we usually
Probably
get,
so.
if we get weather, it'll generally be sometime in February.
Mm-hmm.
But, yep.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. What else you got?
I was weeding in the back garden, and I was getting rid of the nut sedge, which we always have nut sedge. And we have Bermuda, perpetual Bermuda, right? Everywhere. But I was doing my little thing, weeding, and all the irises that we planted last fall are beginning to show their leaves for this upcoming year. So excited. And 2 of the schoolhouse lilies look like they're coming out. So our little bulb garden is awakening, and it's thrilling.
Yeah.
Really, really nice.
Yeah, getting ready.
I've been peeking at the daffodils that we planted. I haven't discerned if they are poking up their leaves yet or not, but I'm eager to wait to see if that's going to happen.
Nice.
I'm excited that the irises are beginning to show because when we planted them, remember, they can't go very deep in the soil. They have to be quite shallowly rooted. And I was just kind of wondering if the neighborhood cat would leave them alone, really. But yeah, so apparently so.
It is interesting. We, after, I don't know, 7 years, I guess, put a new version of the door cam out on the door. And it's got a new feature that does, it'll look for people, obviously, but it also will look for animals. And so it keeps catching this cat that I don't think our other camera, every once in a while I caught it, but.
Well, we had a hard time figuring out if it was a cat a different animal.
But now we can see it a little better. It's definitely a cat. And I think it must roam the neighborhood, obviously. But it seems to like to come right up by the front door, through the front garden. I'm sure it's going in the back. And I think that may be what's eating some of the stuff back there.
Not surprisingly, funnily enough, we used to sit on the couch every evening, and our male Boykin Spaniel would race to the front door and bark and bark and bark. We could never figure out what the problem was. There was nobody driving by. We couldn't figure it out. I'm wondering if it was probably
I think
the
it's
cat.
the cat, because I think we went back and looked with the new camera. I think it alerted us a couple times, and it was always the same time. It was always like 8 at night.
Same time.
And it's like, what are you doing? Is there people walking by at the same time?
We used to look down at Gilder and say, "Do you have a clock inside?"
I think we figured it out. I think we got some roaming cats.
Roaming cats.
A roaming cat in the neighborhood, at least one.
Well, that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
sometimes that's not so bad.
Yeah, no, as long as we know what it is, that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. The only other thing I really have to talk about in the What's New segment is that I was sitting on the back porch, and like I said, I had been weeding, and I had disturbed some of the seeds that had fallen out of our bird feeder last fall, probably. And I was sitting there quietly with my book. The dogs were sitting quietly right by me. And I looked up, and there was the most beautiful cardinal hopping along the ground, gathering the seeds that I had just overturned. And he was gorgeous.
They're probably like, hey, put some seed out here, folks.
Hurry up. We need more.
I know. Well, the only other thing I'll say, Mary got me the vertical, what's that thing called? The little clipper thing. Little clip.
Yes.
Got them out there, and we played with it a little bit, and they work really cool. They really work well for
I was so
trimming.
Astonished.
Yeah,
they make how smoothly they cut.
They're very sharp, and they make a really nice line.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they do.
Much
Yes.
better, I think, than a string trimmer, to be honest. The string trimmer. The problem with the string trimmer is if your arms get tired, it starts going all over the place, and it's got, ours is battery operated, so it's got a big battery on it. I mean, it's, it's not light. I mean, it's not crazy heavy or anything, but, sometimes your arm goes one way or another and it goes a little farther than you thought. But this thing looks cool. I think it's going to work really well for us.
I think it's cute as it could be.
Yeah,
You're just
cool.
walking along.
Yeah, you just
chopping.
Comes about waist level, and works nice.
Mm-hmm.
Or a little higher than waist level. Nice.
It's pretty good to get into tight spaces too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we gave that a shot. We went out there while the weather was nice. Very good.
I loved it.
Well,
so that's an update on our tool that we just
That is
yes,
an update.
It is.
And very, very much so. Well, what do you have for us for the topic this week, Mary?
January has a beautiful flower, and it is a carnation.
Nice.
Do you know what a carnation is, Jeff?
It's something that I wore to the prom. Is that what it is?
Yes, it is.
I don't know.
Yes. They typically, it's a very big flower in the florist industry, boutonnieres.
Yep.
But according to the Farmer's Almanac, it is the flower of January. And the botanical name is Dianthus caryophyllus. So, interesting enough, we get Dianthus from the ancient Greek. The word Dios, meaning divine or of the gods, and where did I got myself? Dianthus, and it's also the flower of the gods. In other words, it is trying to convey it's the flower of the gods. And then carnation, we actually get it down through the Latin, the common name for it. And, I love this reason that they think they described it that way in Latin is because they would make crowns of the flowers. And so the carnation derives from the word corona for crown.
Very nice.
A crown of dainty carnations. Doesn't that sound beautiful?
It does. And I wonder, maybe that's why it's kind of a little formal flower. Maybe that's why it is the preferred flower of, I don't know. I don't know if it is still anymore, but carnations were the thing, right?
Carnations were so
Weddings
popular in the floral industry forever. They became, you know how things come into vogue and go out of vogue. And so for a while, carnations kind of took a back seat. But today, they're beginning to breed so many different colors into the carnations, and the stems are very sturdy and long-lasting, and it's kind of picking up, becoming back into the popular flower.
I like it.
It really is.
You don't really see, do we see them when we go to the,
every time we go to the grocery store. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like the garden centers?
The garden centers, yeah.
So there are different varieties of carnation or dianthus. When we go to the garden center, we usually find them listed as a dianthus, which is more like a bedding plant.
Oh, okay.
And so they are probably maybe 6 inches to 1 foot in height. And a lot of times in our garden centers, they have a single flower. And the leaves are beautiful. They're kind of a gray, green, somewhat of a strap-like consistency to them. And they're actually, surprisingly, a perennial.
Okay.
So if you do go to the garden centers, in some cases, they may describe them by their common names, which include Sweet William. They might call them in an old-fashioned way pinks. People used to call them pinks because that was the main color that they originally came in, Or my favorite, the gillyflower.
Gillies.
I love that. The gillyflower. They also call them clove pink or maybe wild carnation.
Okay.
And I was interested to learn that they could be a perennial. And they were listed by zone from zone 6A all the way down to 9B. And usually I see them mounded up in the annual tables, probably because our summers are so very hot.
Yeah.
I would think that they would probably kind of die back during the heat. But that's why, even though they're listed in such a wide variety of zones, it's important to know your zone, because the determining factor is how hot and humid your summers are.
Okay.
Here in Central Texas, it's really good to find a situation where you would have good, strong morning sun. Well, not like in the front of our house. It gets hot as blazes up there.
It does.
But a nice morning sun for about 6 hours of the day, and then a good shady afternoon. And oh my gosh, carnations are some of my very favorite flowers. They love to be planted in soils that are well draining, but actually they like to have a soil with a lot of gritty components to it. Probably you would describe it as loose or friable, maybe. However, they also really want to have a lot of rich organic material available to them. So they're kind of unusual in that way. They like to be grown where they don't have a lot of mulch piled up. And I think that's probably one of the mistakes that I've made in the past, because you could get fungal problems,
Okay.
which, that's going to put a damper on your fun. But so you want to keep the roots kind of cleared away. The important thing about Dianthus that I learned in my research is that they want to have a moist soil. They don't want to be wet, but they can't dry out too much. It has to be kind of right in the sweet spot for them to really flourish. And I also learned this from the Central Texas Gardener, is that you want to feed them a balanced fertilizer of your choice about once every 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I had not done that before. I might give that a try this year. And I'm talking about the Dianthus that, like I said, are low growing that you would put in your garden. But there are a lot of other varieties. I mean, a Dianthus or a Carnation could actually go anywhere from 6 inches to 4 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
Depending on the variety.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
That's crazy.
And flower farmers, as they grow them, they'll have like a mounded row, and the Dianthus will be growing on the mound. So they'll have nice, good drainage. And then every so often, they'll have a web-like structure or maybe a wire-type structure, and the flowers will grow up through this cage-like system, and so they won't fall over. They'll grow up very tall and straight and have very strong stems.
Oh, interesting.
So that when they do go into the vase, they could actually last up to 2 weeks in a bouquet, which is a very long-lasting cut
That's a really
flower.
long time, yeah. Nice.
It's pretty cool.
That is,
right?
but I think where I missed it, I think when you go to the nurseries, it's called Dianthus and I don't think they put Carnation on there. That's probably why I didn't recognize it.
That's right.
Okay.
You could look them up and they probably will go under Dianthus.
Yeah.
When you by your seeds too.
Yep. Okay.
And you can propagate these plants from seed, or you could also propagate them from cuttings. And this is new information to me. I've never experienced that before, but it might be something that I would like to try.
Yeah.
Always a new little experiment to do. Interestingly enough, I did read that they are resistant to deer and rabbit.
That's interesting.
And that is a good thing in our area, But we haven't had a lot of deer come through where we live, probably for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, but I do think we do have a resident rabbit and maybe a possum or two.
Probably.
But Dianthus are also interesting because they are host plants for some of our pollinators. This one may not be very popular with people. They can be a host plant for the cabbage moth.
Oh.
But here's what I want to say. If you are growing cabbage and you would like to lure the cabbage moth away from your cabbage, you could plant several clumps of Dianthus and then cover netting over your cabbage and protect it from the cabbage moth. They're also a host plant for the large yellow underwing. And I did look them up. They seem to have a spot on their wings that almost look like an eye. It was very pretty.
Okay.
They're attractive to bees and butterflies. Now, interestingly enough, we've kind of talked about this before, but they can come, usually our garden varieties have a single flower. And that means you're going to have one row of petals growing in an array around a central bud. And, or you might have a variety that has they call them doubles. And that means they have more than one row of petals. But if you're looking to attract pollinators and beneficials, a single flower is often more advantageous for you because the pollinator, for one thing, usually that means they have a stronger fragrance. And the other aspect of it is that the pollinator can actually access the bloom.
Oh, okay.
And so
interesting.
It depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You could have a little of each, have the best of both worlds, right?
Nice. All right.
But they are sort of native all around the Mediterranean regions and in areas where they could have moist soil but dry upper conditions, which it makes them a pretty unique plant, So they grow worldwide today, and the flowers are interesting too. They come out in an array, but they have a little fringy element all along the edges, and they could be anywhere from 1 to 3 inches in size or diameter, And like I said before, carnations themselves can grow anywhere from 6 inches to about 4 feet tall, I read about. And probably I'd love to see those on a flower farm.
Yeah.
That'd be gorgeous.
That'd be cool to see.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you look up and see what the size is that you want, what variety you want. And one of the things that are just so wonderful in the garden is their fragrance. Purple petunias give off a beautiful fragrance, star jasmine, and also our almond verbena. We could smell that. And Dianthus go into that category as well. Your freshly picked Dianthus could actually perfume a whole room in your house.
That's cool.
And they have a fragrance that's described as clove. It's very deep and rich, And it also has notes of cinnamon and maybe a nutmeg thrown in there too, very spicy. It is spicy, but it's not a harsh scent. It's kind of a soft, spicy note to me. And today, like I said, in their original habitat, they were pink in color. And I do think that they fell out of favor because, people want to order different colors and things like that. And you could only mostly get them in pink, but not today. They could go anywhere from oranges, lavenders, deep reds, and white is a very popular color. That's been around a long time.
Yeah, white has, yeah.
I think they actually come in gold or yellow today. So the industry is bouncing back because of that. And I did look up just a tiny bit of analytics. According to Proficient Market Insights, the carnation market value at the end of 2025 was expected to be $3.8 billion.
That's pretty cool.
That's crazy, right?
I
would never have thought that.
Huh.
And by 2034, it will increase to 4.9 billion is their expected trajectory. And it's due to a variety of colors. They accredit it to new practices in farming where they're being regenerative and they are looking to increase the farm's fertility through biological means and things like that. And they said that was one of the major contributors because carnations are plagued by a couple of fungal diseases, and they're looking to biology to help them stop that from happening.
Wow.
And it also was very interested in that North America was said to have 30% of the carnation market, which I thought that was quite interesting.
The carnation.
The carnation.
Very cool. I haven't heard that word in a long time, actually.
I love them. I love them.
I know. It's just, as soon as you hear it, it just immediately goes to the like wedding, prom, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Closely associated with Mother's Day.
Yep, that's true.
And
well, Mother's Day's coming up this year, Mary. Maybe a little carnation in your future.
When I was growing up, there was a florist in our hometown, and they used to make the most adorable arrangement. It was an old-fashioned soda glass, and it had the 3 big carnations with a straw and a little sprig of something that looked like mint.
Neat. That's really cool.
Very cute.
Yeah, very creative.
Yeah, very creative.
Nice. I like it.
That's my carnation.
That's your carnation story, and you're not going back on it.
But I was thrilled that we are now ready for...
Well, I do have a Jeff's Corner this week.
Jeff's Corner.
And I have an interesting one for you guys out there. So if you're not familiar, there is a site on the internet called the Internet Archive. And what it is an archive of, oh my gosh, millions of mostly copyrighted things that are out of copyright now. Text, songs, books, music. I found it because I like old time radio stuff. So you can find a lot of the old time radio shows from the 30s and 40s and 50s out there. And you can download them. However, if you go in there and look for under the text, you just type in gardening, you will get there's a massive amount of information out there. And so it was kind of interesting. So there is there was a publication called Gardening Illustrated.
Oh, yes. I remember Gardening Illustrated.
Well, I don't think you remember this one, Mary.
Maybe not.
Published 1879.
I well remember that one.
You remember when that one came out? But there's a whole bunch of those out there from the 1870s, which is, it's pretty cool to go look at them.
Very cool.
There's organic gardening magazines out there from, oh my gosh, from probably the 70s, 60s.
Oh, I like that.
It's a massive
articles by Rodale.
Oh, it is. It's a massive database out there of things that they're just crazy. Greenhouse gardening.
Oh, now that'd be interesting.
From 1973.
Wow.
Right. There's gardening in Australia. If you'd like to know anything about that, from 1926, that would be pretty kind of interesting now, wouldn't it? Allotment gardening, which I'm assuming that is probably a UK. I think they call it allotments over there. But it's a really cool resource to go out, and you can kind of get yourself lost. I'm not going to lie. There's so much stuff out there. But the amount of information out there is truly amazing. It is called the Internet Archive. It's archive.org is the website. And like I said, I believe everything is out of copyright at this point, so you can download it and read it. And, and anyway, for your own personal information, you can always do that.
Whenever I've looked, they've always had this aspect to it where you find the material you want to read, and you click on it, and then it'll say you may borrow it for 1 hour. Right? Is this what your experience has been too?
I think some are like that. I think some you can just download. The older ones. If it's out of copyright, you can just download them and read them. But there's just so much stuff. I mean, I will say the old time radio shows that I download, I can download and listen to on my own. There's no restrictions on it. There's even like seed. The Henry G. Gilbert Nursery and Seed Trade Catalog Collection from 1895. So that would, some of the stuff is just crazy fun. And this is just the gardening that I put in. You can narrow the search down, obviously, to whatever you want, seeds or nurseries, specific plants. And you'll find publications that have been put out there. They've been doing this for a long time. It's a, it's a .org, so it's a nonprofit, but it's an amazing collection of, books, radio, TV, video, audios. There's old software out there, images, live music. It's just a massive amount of information. It's constantly growing. So I would encourage you, if you want to go down a rabbit hole and you want to look at some of the stuff that's out there. Let's be honest, some of this has to be obviously relevant. We've talked about the history of stuff out there, a lot of history out there as well. And it's kind of cool just to go out and take a look at everything. They even have a Gardening for Dummies book is out there.
I need it.
I didn't know they had a Gardening for Dummies from 1996.
Wow.
So
1996. Okay.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. So anyway, that is out there, and I would encourage you, if you get a chance, go take a look. And if you, whatever interest you have, if it's, they have a lot of gardening, but in all honesty, literally everything's out there. And you will kind of set some time aside because you're going to get lost in it. And start looking.
Each thread leads you to another thread that is interesting. So you follow that thread little while.
It does.
And it just is a continuation.
It absolutely does. So it's called the Internet Archive, and it's archive.org. So go take a look at it and see what you can find, because there's a massive amount of stuff out there. But it's kind of cool. It's. I know Mary likes to talk a lot about history, and you can go back and read some of the publications from a lot of those times and see what the thought processes were.
Yes.
That's what I had for Jeff's Corner.
Well, I'm awfully glad you brought that up because I was searching and searching for a final topic of the day. And originally I had said that I wanted to talk about the pH levels in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I read through the materials that I have available to me. And of course, I really got myself in a tangle. It's quite a complicated subject.
Mm-hmm.
But I had forgotten about the Internet Archive as a resource.
Yep.
And so I'm planning to make good use of the tip that you have just given us today.
Good. Yeah. There's so much out there. It's cool. It's cool to see a lot of it, though.
Yeah, I had forgotten to look up the history of things. That's going to be a good reminder.
Okay, awesome.
Mini applause.
Woo-hoo.
Well, I did a pivot.
You pivoted.
I pivoted. I said my mind was whirling as I was trying to define the pH level of the soil, which is a subject I do want to return to. But I just feel like I cannot speak on it at the moment because I'll get tongue-tied. And I went back to the Northern Cardinal that we saw in the backyard.
Oh, we went from pHing to Northern Cardinal. I love my Northern Cardinal, so.
I love him too. That was great. Now, I've seen them looking for a spot to nest in.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're already here. They're going to get back. I'm excited about it.
That's cool, yeah. And I think if I remember last year we were watching, there seemed to be 2 pairs that were always around. Now, maybe there's more, but it seemed to be like 2 pairs that were kind of mostly in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they enjoyed our feeders and they enjoyed whatever we had.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was great fun watching them. They're quite good characters.
They are, yeah.
Well, one of the reasons why I thought about talking about the Northern Cardinal is also because I went back and I began to read the Backyard Bird Chronicles by Amy Tan. And I have to say, this is a book that you're going to dip into, read short passages from it, and continue to come back and back again. It's interesting and informative and just a great book for anybody who enjoys birds.
Nice.
And so, that was sitting right there on my shelf, and I was laboring through the pH soil tests, and I decided I'm going to have fun. So, interestingly enough, according to Cornell, the Northern Cardinal is probably the bird that draws more people into bird watching than any other species.
I bet.
Yeah, because they're so gorgeous.
They are. They're really pretty.
They have a very distinctive voice in the garden. Once you learn to hear it, you could just recognize right when they're there. They're very vocal. But they're beautiful red. They're a brilliant color bird, and the genus is the Cardinal. So they're found throughout the United States, all the way Maine down into Mexico, and it is the state bird of a lot of states.
Really?
In the east, sort of, in the middle of the U.S. over to the east. Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky.
Wow, okay, that surprises.
North Carolina, Ohio, Virginia, and West Virginia.
That's great. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Of course, out here we're the mockingbird, and we do have a lot of mockingbirds in our yard too.
We do.
Which I love. But The cardinal, his body length can be around 8 to 9 inches, and that would be like 21 to 23 centimeters. And then one of the distinctive features he has is he has this little crusty tuft on top of his head, the little pointy head. We love to look for that. So the male and female birds of this species are different colors.
They are.
The male is the brilliant, I don't know how to say it. It's sort of leaning towards an orangey red. It's not a blue red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they also have this black marking that goes around their beak and into their eye, which is called a mask, and it is very deep black. And then his beak is bright orange.
Right.
And the reason that he has his coloration is derived from the pigments found within the carotenoids in the seeds and other things that he eats. And there are some cardinals that are born without the enzyme to process the carotenoids, and they are yellow.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that. Yeah.
No, I've never.
Huh.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Didn't know that, actually.
The females, they're sort of like, they're kind of like a beigey gray, probably a little bit headed towards the brown of a beigey gray. And they have smaller areas on their body that are sort of orange, but they could be peachy orange, and then they could get into a darker color. And they also have the orange beaks, you know. And the young fledglings do not exhibit the adult coloration until they've matured about their first year,
Oh, wow.
I think.
Okay. Didn't know that.
The cardinal's beaks are cone-shaped, and they're super strong. I mean, I've seen a cardinal take the shell off of a sunflower seed, eat the nut, and spit the shell out.
We had our little bird buddy out there with the camera. We used to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, we could watch him.
Yes. So the beak is definitely made for eating seeds and nuts and things like that. The interesting thing is that as the cold weather comes in, the way that they sort of provide warmth for their body is by fluffing up their feathers and creating a feather ball and the downy under feathers, and they shiver. And that's the way they hold in their heat.
Oh, wow.
And curiously, they have the ability to lower their body temperature. They can go down to 3 to 6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, my gosh.
I know,
Wow.
crazy. But it does not protect their little legs. That's the sad part. The cardinal, I learned, their vocalization, their songs are really a very important aspect of the bird. The male cardinal sings to protect his territory. And so he has several different patterns of singing, but he sings very clearly. And let's say he sees a predator coming towards them. He wants to give out a warning. And I always thought he sounded like cheek, cheek, cheek. But anyways, he does tweet, very short, sharp sound, and that's a warning to the other birds in the area.
I didn't know
like
that.
when our boykins run out the back door. The female cardinal is kind of unusual in that she, sometimes the female does not produce a song in the songbirds, but she does. And as she sits on the nest after she lays the eggs, she will call out to her mate, and her song is longer. And so one thing I read said that maybe she's telling him she's hungry because the female broods the nest and the male goes out and brings food back to her. which is kind of interesting too.
Yeah.
They do stay mated. Like we saw the 2 pairs last
Mm-hmm.
year. Well, they could possibly stay mated for several years. And sometimes they travel together too. Or sometimes they decide that they're ready to move on and find a different mate.
Really?
And yeah. Kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
You know what was super interesting is that I saw the male come out and inspect the nest that we have in one of our live oak trees recently. And I thought that was, that was kind of interesting that he was taking the initiative to check it all out.
Yeah, usually kind of in our backyard, we usually see them. If you see the female, the male is almost like watching and protecting somewhere. They're not generally right next. Sometimes they are, but they're always in the vicinity of each other, which is that we always comment on that too. You see one, the other one's somewhere close.
Somewhere close by, right?
Neat.
Well, cardinals like to live in open woods or shrubby areas or thickets and things like that. And our neighborhood kind of is developing some of those features now, which is very nice. And they like to nest in the shrubby, dense growth of plants. So maybe we'll go look through our garden and see if we can find some more nests. Our one little live oak tree, he's pretty sparse. I would not call him dense at any rate.
No.
But at any rate, the Northern Cardinal, this surprised me. I had never known this before. They eat mostly seeds and grains, right? And berries, because we do have Burford holly in the front yard, and they eat all the berries off of that every year. I'm very happy to see those bright red berries. I know that the cardinals and the other birds are going to be visiting. But what I was interested in is that, they like to eat from the ground.
I
They're
didn't know
ground feeders, and they like to hop along in and under the shrubbery and the bushes hunting for food. And secondly, what I was very surprised at is that they eat snails and they eat insects.
I didn't know that.
They can eat beetles and grasshoppers, things like that, maybe crickets, and also cicadas. And cicadas are big.
We have a lot of those.
Yes, we do. They are big through here every year.
Interesting. I thought they just ate seeds, to be honest with you.
I did as well. And here's another thing that's interesting. After the eggs hatch, when they are going to feed the fledglings, they feed them almost completely insects.
Okay.
And not the seeds or grains, which I was surprised at that too. It's kind of interesting once you get to know all these little
And
things.
Well, next time we're out in the yard watching them, we do notice them on the ground a lot, but I thought it was just because the everything spilled out or something.
I did too.
Interesting.
I did too. And sometimes we do actually see them on the ground, but I never knew that they were actually hunting insects.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. We are big sunflower feeders, and we had always heard that that's what they really go for, and they do, but they also go for corn and other types of seeds as well. Now that I know that, we'll look at lowering some of the feeders a little bit.
Yeah.
So they build their nests of grasses and twigs, and the mama cardinal, she'll use her beak to crush the stems so they could weave them in and out of the nest, which is kind of cool, And then after they get the nest completed, it's probably up to 6 days, and then she'll lay eggs in her nest, and she'll usually or typically lay like 3 or 4 eggs at a time. And she will stay on the nest while the male goes out and hunts for food and forages and brings it back to her. So according to the Cornell article that I read, there was one cardinal, a female, in Pennsylvania that they recorded as being 15 years old and 9 months.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Wow. That's in Pennsylvania. That's pretty incredible.
That for a bird, that's pretty incredible.
I know. So the one thing I want to tell all of us, and this pertains to not only gardeners, but the general public, we really do need to kind of put up those window clings.
Mm-hmm.
The cardinal is a bird that I didn't know this before. If he sees his reflection in the window, he thinks it's another male cardinal, and he will expend all of his energy singing to try to drive the other male out of his territory.
Oh, wow.
And they just they can fly into your window like the other birds can as well. But that one aspect, I was very surprised to learn that they won't give up.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
And so that is all the
That's pretty cool. I like that. We like our cardies.
About the cardinal.
We like the old cardinals. That's pretty cool. A lot of new information that I didn't know. So this spring when we're out there, we'll now we'll have a little more information what we're looking at.
You know, through the year, sometimes you pick up the bags of the dried mealworms, and we have tried to feed those mealworms.
We have. Nobody ever takes
like
them.
That. Nobody ever takes those.
Yeah.
And so I just never equated the cardinal with being an insectivore.
Yeah.
But evidently they are.
And well, maybe they want them on the ground too. We never did. I mean, literally, we've bought them. We've tried them a few times, and they just
we have.
They just sit there.
Lay there.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Awesome.
They attract other things besides
they do.
birds.
Yeah. Very good. The old Northern Cardinal. I like it.
The Northern Cardinal, our cheerful friend.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mary, what else you got for us?
I think that's all my discussion topics for the week.
Okay.
There are a number of things that are very beneficial to get out there and start doing in the garden right now. And you can get a soil test and find out your pH.
You can.
It's very confusing. At any rate, right now in the garden, here in Central Texas, of course, you know, if you're up north, you probably may have already put your amendments out into the garden in the fall, and you may be waiting until later this spring before you get out and start putting things in. But I learned in a class that I took a number of years ago that the most biological activity in the soil occurs in the, say you have leaves that fall on the ground and then you have snow atop that. Well, that very thin layer between the fallen organic matter and the layer of snow is the most active that it's going to be throughout the whole year.
Wow.
It is the most biologically active area. So that's kind of interesting, right?
It is.
Yeah. But here in Central Texas and in the Southwest and so forth, you could definitely start adding your amendments, your compost, your leaf mold, start prepping your beds, get them ready to go. You could start putting in your cold season vegetables, you know, like broccoli and cabbage and things like that. This is the best time for you to get out there and prune fruit trees for the winter. This is when we want to get rid of any crossing branches. You want to open the canopy so you could get airflow, get rid of weak or dying wood, and spindly growth, things like that. And so this is the time to get out there and start doing that.
Okay.
Pruning all of your perennials back. Usually, I like to say, leave things in the garden the way they are. But unfortunately for us here in Central Texas, we might take off growing. So it's kind of a balancing act, waiting long enough to provide winter shelter for beneficials and things that you want in the garden, like pollinators and so forth, and cutting back your perennials in time to catch them before they get the first growth of the spring. So keep an eye on your garden. If you notice that buds are beginning to swell on your trees or on your perennials, assuming that they're not a spring blooming perennial, I can think of like our autumn sage and our cherry sage, things like that. Our lantana, we could definitely start the process of cutting that back. Our wax myrtles, and just start getting ready for a jump on your spring growth.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
And I'm so excited about gardening season. So, I am.
I know you are. Well, awesome. Well, thank you, Mary. And
thank you for reminding me about the Internet Archive.
Internet Archive is a great resource.
A great resource.
For anybody out there. Carnations brought back a pink tuxedo from 1970, whatever it was.
And you looked very handsome in your photo.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mary. All right, guys. I appreciate it. And Mary and I both appreciate you guys joining us here. As we said at the beginning, we have listeners from all over. And we definitely do appreciate you guys listening and tuning in here at Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. And we hope you'll join us next week. Same time, same place, same Mary Bird Backyard Garden channel. Till then, we'll see you then.
Happy gardening.